Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
Diggity dank.
Hello and welcome back to another week of the Nightwing news. We're about to take Manhattan. Anyway, I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
That's right, kids. The one Kristen's been demanding. We read tonight the first two issues of the Tentacle Monster storyline from Nightwing 118 and 119.
Now I realize I didn't know what I was talking about.
Why did you think it was better? That it was it not as good as you remembered?
I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't as good as I remembered because I didn't really remember it as good. I was just more like, what? Than I remembered.
All right, so let's see. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about last week? I forget the name of the guy. We'll have to look it up real quick. Remember we got the news a week or two ago that they cast a Nightwing for the Harley Quinn animated series.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna be getting another.
Yeah, you sent me that, but I don't think I knew the name. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't familiar with the actor either. Here, I'm looking up real quick. Yeah, Harvey Gillian.
I don't know.
I'm not familiar with the gentleman.
What's his name? Harvey what?
What says Javier Harvey Gillian is an American actor who is best known for his role as the human familiar Guillermo de la Cruz in the 2019 television series What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah, I think you did. That's right. I think you did. What's his last name again?
Guillen. I'm just looking through.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's animated, so really, it's just a voice, you know.
Oh, he provided the voice of Funny the Magic House and Mickey Mouse Funhouse. That's where I know him from.
I was like,
when Luca was little,
not ringing a bell, but it's cool.
When Luca was little, So yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the gentleman's work, but it looks like he's been on a few shows. So
that's cool. Oftentimes, I kind of like it when they're more voice actors because that's nice. When it's voice actors getting work, because that's the whole point, is they're a voice actor.
Yes, again, I mean, I like the Harley Quinn series. Once again, don't watch it with your children. Foul language.
Did you know that ahead of time, or did you make a mistake and accidentally show Luca part of it?
No. I knew
that. Okay. Yeah, it's always been clear from the beginning.
No, I always, if I recommend something and it's like that, I try to say, oh yeah, don't let your young kids watch it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Last week picked up Teen Titans Academy number 13, part 4 of War for Earth 3. Not a lot of action, but basically, I guess, setting up the final part because the Suicide Squad comes to the Titans for help against Amanda Waller and the crime syndicate. So, I think it's Dick, Wally, Corey, and Donna are going to Earth 3, and then they tell the kids, "No, it's too dangerous. You can't go." But then, guess the kids stow away anyway.
That feels like a true Titan story. That's how Titans roll.
Yeah. Oh, this should be a good fight because this current version of the Crime Syndicate on Earth 3, she's called Superwoman, but basically their Wonder Woman isn't a version of Diana. It's a evil Donna.
Oh, okay. So this is slightly different than.
Yeah. Every at least every decade or so seems like they reboot the Earth 3. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, it's like the Legion of Superheroes in the future. It's like I think every crisis, it reboots Earth 3 too.
I mean, I guess if that's what you got to do to keep it fresh.
Yeah. So I'm trying to look at my list. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if War for Earth 3 number 2, which is the final part, comes out this week or not. I got my list. Oh yes, it does come out.
Oh, it comes out tomorrow.
Yes. Like I said, I won't get it till Wednesday, so I'll let you know if Dick's in there a lot. Should be. But yeah, War for Earth 3 Part 2 is the final part of that crossover. Trying to see any other. Oh, Shadow War Alpha comes out this week too. Basically, the big crossover between like Batman, Damian's book, and Deathstroke. So,
okay, yeah.
I believe he attacks either Talia or Roz. So, yeah, I'm sure Damian's gonna have some words for him.
Wait, who attacks?
Deathstroke. I haven't read.
Deathstroke.
Deathstroke's either going after Talia or Roz. I forget which one. So.
Cool.
So like I said, I'm sure Damian's gonna like try to cut his head off or something. Trying to think if there's any other news. Oh, did I see is Young Justice starting back up soon?
I mean, it should be. I wasn't specifically looking, but
yeah, no.
I would think it would be starting up soon.
Let me see. Check my TV app here. I swear I saw it somewhere. Where did I see that? Oh, here it is. Oh, Thursday might be back.
Nice.
This Thursday, maybe. So March 31st, kids.
Cool.
Cool. And I know this is usually a DC podcast, but yes, Moon Knight starts on Wednesday. Woo!
Like the first one ever?
The first episode, yeah. It's a six episode, yeah.
Oh, okay. I've seen a lot about it on Facebook, but I think that's because you guys put me in your Moon Knight group or something like that.
I think it might just be the regular group, but we might really just talk about it.
Maybe, because I'm like, wait, this Moon Knight isn't started yet? I feel like...
No, they announced it a while ago, and then, yeah. Then they were putting out trailers and stuff. I mean... So, yeah, I know. You don't care. Moon Knight. Yeah, I don't think we have any more Nightwing news. Because the next issue isn't out for a while. Till like the middle of April, maybe?
Yeah. Is Nightwing supposed to be in the Batgirl movie? I thought someone told me that.
I heard rumors, but I don't know if anything like definite ever came out about that.
Okay.
How about that movie they've been talking about for the last few years? Give us a solo Nightwing movie or TV show. Just been what's his name out of Titans and give us a Nightwing solo show.
I wish it would be a little brighter than Titans, though.
Well, that there you go. You spin them out, you can make it a little brighter, yeah. And you could explain it like he's making a conscious decision. I'm not going to be like Bruce.
or Jason.
All right.
Speaking
of, let's get to this. Well, there's sadly no tentacle monster yet.
No, but it'll be coming next week. All right. So, yeah, we're covering the first 2 issues of Nightwing 1 year later, because once again, kids, all the DC books jumped 1 year after an Infinite Crisis. So,
except did they? It's not like anybody visibly got older.
Well, it's comics, but it's like
I know. I was just teasing.
Basically, every book they like threw something shocking. It's like, how did this hero get here?
I see. Okay, well, do you want to?
Yeah, here, like I said, I'll do the synopses for these. You stop me when you want to speak on something because there's stuff to speak about in these. All right, so Nightwing 118 from May 2006. The gang's all here. Writer Bruce Jones, penciler Joe Dodd, inker Bit, looks like BIT, colorist Javier Rodriguez, letterer Pat Brousseau, and editor Nachi Castro. So, yeah, not a lot of familiar names here.
Cover was by Jock, though. He's familiar later.
Yeah. On a New York rooftop, 2 child kidnappers working for the Pierce brothers are attacked by someone who appears to be Nightwing. After a violent battle, this Nightwing slices one of the kidnappers' throats with a knife. And again, later we'll find out this is Jason. But do you think, had Dick died, would Jason have been as murderous, or would he have been trying to redeem himself using the Nightwing identity?
I don't know.
I wish that's if Dick had to die, that's what they would have done with Jason, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I'm a little surprised that their plan was to have Nightwing die, but to have Dick die, but to have someone continue on as Nightwing. Because I thought that part of the reason Dido or however you say his name wanted to kill Dick was because he thought that there wasn't really a point in Batman having these extra people. So I was like, well, why would you kill one Nightwing just to have a different Nightwing? That's always kind of surprised me.
Yeah, it was his idea. I think his big thing was like, well, it's hard to tell how old people are, and what's Dick Grayson going to do? He's never going to be Batman full time, So I think he was just like, he wanted to kill him, and then Jason can move up. Then I guess Jason would have moved up to Nightwing, so it's like there's less confusion in the middle there between Bruce and then Damian the youngest. I don't know.
It doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't really make sense.
It's like they want Batman to be the Dark Loner, but it's like on the other side, they want to spin everything off of Batman because he sells.
Right. Well, and I can't help but wonder if it was just, whatever. If it was just kind of a Didio thing, like if he just
from what I've read and stuff.
Didn't like Dick Grayson, Nightwing.
I think they said he had some kind of problem with that whole generation, like Dick and Roy and Wally. Yeah, because was it after Infinite Crisis? Yeah, they made Wally disappear for a while with his family, into a different universe or something, and Bart took over as the Flash for about a year, I think. So, yeah, I think the Dido had a whole problem with that whole generation. So.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because one of the main ways that, from what I understand, DC mostly makes its money not through the comics, but through, lunchboxes and toys and stuff with these things on it. So I guess I can understand in that regard why if Dick died, they would still want a Nightwing because they would want to keep that intellectual property alive. But on the other hand, I kind of feel like, but why do you want to kill these people off? Because having more things with more intellectual property just makes you more money.
And once again, even if Dick died, I wonder how long he would have stayed dead. I'm sure he wouldn't have stayed dead forever. But I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah, that's true. Because that actually is true. Because I honestly think people would have had a hard time accepting Jason as Nightwing.
And I think it was mostly Dido's idea, and I think they even said like a lot of the creatives at DC were like, no, you don't kill off Dick Grayson.
Right. Because it's not, and it's a weird fit for Jason. Jason doesn't seem like that's one of the things, I guess, as we get going in here. What surprised me, and maybe it's because I read too much fan fiction or whatever now, but also because, it's been New 52 and they've changed Jason up a little bit. But this also did not feel like a good characterization of Jason to me either.
No, he was pretty crazy and like killing, like killer and all until New 52. I mean, I think they kind of tempered him and once New 52 started so they could bring him into the Bat Family. But when they first resurrected him, he wanted nothing to do with them and he was killing people left and right.
Yeah, because I guess based on more.
Yeah, he was more villainous till New 52.
Yeah, so maybe this isn't as bad, but yeah.
Yeah, Jason's characterization wasn't one of the bigger things. I guess
maybe I shouldn't say it felt off, but I didn't like it.
I know. They could have what they could have done. I mean, they did it a few years from now in Batman R.I.P. and stuff, or Batman Reborn. It's like if they wanted to kill anyone, kill Bruce, have Dick take over as Batman, and then have them trying to redeem Jason and have him hand them the Nightwing costume and say, "Here, you want to prove to me that you're the best? Here, take this. I'll give this to you. Redeem yourself."
Well, whatever. But yes, I guess so. As we are going through the synopsis, I'll give my comments. So yeah, of course, I kind of pretty much from this arc, the only thing I remembered, of course, was Cheyenne Fremont and Tentacle Monster. So when I first started reading, I was like, oh, this definitely isn't Dick. This really doesn't sound like him. And it was Red. So I thought that was good, at least, that that they did like that kind of signal by having the kind of thought boxes, if you will, in a different color.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I guess.
Well, I was gonna say let's get to the Dick part because I have thoughts on this too.
No, wait. I was just gonna say. I guess what put me off is it didn't really feel like. It didn't feel like Dick, but it didn't really fit my construction of Jason either. How it's like used to be you whack him upside the head and wait for Commissioner Gordon's boys to show. Nowadays, you got to do even the mop up yourself. It's a living. I don't know. That just didn't feel like Jason to me.
Yeah. Again, maybe because it's a new writer. I don't know, but but a lot of this. I feel like maybe they came up with the stuff for Jason at the last minute. I'm thinking more of the stuff that Dick does here. Maybe they were going to try to redeem Jason and, all the stuff Dick's doing in this issue would have been Jason.
Maybe. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right. The next morning, Dick Grayson wakes up next to Cheyenne Fremont, but their breakfast is interrupted by Ron, who takes issue with Dick's presence. After Dick has left, he slaps Cheyenne, who reveals metahuman powers as she defends herself. On the street, Dick is shocked to find a newspaper proclaiming Nightwing is a murderer, but he's interrupted by a reunion with Clancy O'Hara, who hints that the wealthy Cheyenne has mysteries of her own. Dick rents an apartment from Corky Charles and reflects on how bad the last year was. Yeah, I'm thinking this is all Jason. It would have been him sleeping with Cheyenne. It would have been him looking for an apartment. I just feel, I don't know. Clancy, a resident psychiatrist at Bellevue, is assaulted by one of her escaped patients, but is rescued by Nightwing. When Clancy questions Nightwing about the murders, Dick claims he did not commit them. Later that night, Nightwing comes across the Pierce brothers beating up a hood named Ponce on a rooftop. Nightwing interferes and quickly discovers Buddy Pierce is a metahuman, all but invulnerable to attack. Caught off guard, Dick is thrown off the roof only to be rescued by his murderous imposter.
Is that the end?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, so
Okay.
I mean, I guess you could assume, but yeah, they really haven't come out and said, "Oh yeah, this is Jason" yet.
Oh yeah, but that's the other thing. Any self-respecting super wouldn't know about the Frappin Pierce brothers. No, that I was like, no, that sounds super off. Jason wouldn't say that. Jason's not afraid of cussing. He wouldn't say he
I
wouldn't
know.
say a fake word like that.
Oh, the one trivia I found for that the title, Nightwing's line "I'll take Manhattan" is a lyric from the song "Manhattan" by Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart from their 1925 show, The Gaieties. It has been sung by many famous singers, including Ella Fitzgerald and Mel Torme.
Well, alrighty.
And when we get to the next one, I'll have a note on that too, because that's from like another song. So, wondering if I'm thinking
Broadway songs.
I don't know. It's not a Broadway song, but yeah. I'm just,
I mean, Richard Rodgers did a lot of music.
yeah. I'm just thinking Bruce Jones is a fan of music in general.
Be yeah.
So
I feel okay. So now okay. So we did the Jason part where I was like, I don't think that sounds like Jason.
yeah.
Okay. Also, I don't like how Dick is drawn. He looks weird.
Yeah.
His face is weird. Also, okay. As soon as I started reading this, that was a gasp religious experience. Do people please tell me that people do not really talk like that?
Is it? I don't know. Is that just the comic code way of saying, oh, they went, oh God. I don't know.
I guess. But I read that and I was like, oh, that is so cheesy. I mean, that being said, I guess it is support for when we had the little dust up heroes don't do that, and you said people on Twitter said that Nightwing was a generous lover.
Yes.
I guess this is some of their evidence to back that assertion up. But as soon as I read that, I was like, that is so cheesy. People do not talk like that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm sure they did it for. Again, they did it for shock value because it's 1 year later, and two, I believe in my heart this was supposed to be Jason, but yeah, the first thing we see at Dick, he's in bed with someone else. Because remember, kids, he proposed to Barbara last issue. But that was a year.
That's why I was when I first read it, I was like, oh, it's a redhead, and I was like, this is weird. Barbara's being really weird. And then, but yeah, also, what happened? Daddy disown you? Let's say I sort of disowned myself. I like that's a tricky one because I feel like, yeah, okay, that can kind of work for Dick, but it also really works for Jason.
Yeah, stuff like that. I'm thinking that was originally a Jason line. Yeah. Because I mean, during that year in between, the 52 series fell that in. I mean, Dick had traveled the world at least part of the time with Bruce and Tim, so I don't think there was any bad blood between him and Bruce. So that's what I'm saying.
Right. I mean, by the time he comes back as Nightwing, they're over it. I mean, her saying, "Shame no one ever taught you how to dress." I mean, like that kind of sounds like Dick because yeah.
But again, that could be him or Jason.
But yeah, the whole I don't know. The dialogue felt a little bit off.
Yeah. So anything else on this one?
I mean, Ron, he's a jerk.
Oh, the super. Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But see, here's the thing. Okay, so it's funny how Dick has like a Batman belt buckle on when he sees.
I know.
And then, so I mean, but then this kind of had to be edited because Clancy never would have known Jason.
I know. That's what I want. Yeah, I'm wondering if that was filled in or not. But I'm trying to remember. I thought she showed up at least real quick in Tim's book. So I can't. I don't know. I mean, unless they were just going for oh, hey, look, he has something from Dick's original run. Someone from Dick's original run. I don't know.
Yeah, but he looks so weird. He looks so old in that one panel. That
Yeah, I
one.
don't know what it is. There's something off about. I mean, it's not bad, but there's something that I personally was bugging me about that art, but I can't put my finger on it. Like you said, I don't know if it's the faces or. And Dick's growing his hair back out.
Yep.
I'm guessing so we can tell between him and Jason.
Right. Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, yeah, and Dick also has like more stuff on. That's also how you can tell is he's got
Yeah.
a belt on.
But yeah, kids, don't worry. Later in the year, we'll cover the issues leading up to this. Well, the stuff pre 1 year later.
Right, but it's actually like a really big break between the two because it's like a lot is not really continuing over.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's a year in between. Well, not literally, but story wise, yeah.
Right, yeah, I was gonna say because it's just a month. Right, okay. Right, well, yeah, and so like at the end, he's falling down, and then somebody's got a good thing. Somebody's watching out for you, Sparky. You don't be doing such a hot job of it yourself. Like again, I don't think. I mean, Jason's saying something like that, right? But I don't think Jason would call him Sparky. I don't know. That just doesn't seem. I don't know.
I wonder because when you looked up Bruce Jones, right? You said he was an older gentleman. I just wonder if this is Bruce Jones, not as familiar with some of these bad characters, and I don't know.
Yeah, on the one hand, you know, Jason's killing a lot of people and stuff, but some of his dialogue doesn't sound edgy enough to be Jason.
Maybe it's just Bruce Jones not getting the character. You know, maybe it's just like, oh yeah, Jason's crazy, man. He's a killer. But he's kind of sarcastic too.
No, but he's not sarcastic enough in these.
I know.
All right, 119. At least the cover's cool.
Oh, what, the first one or the second one?
Oh, both of them.
Yeah, but I mean, they really trying to get your attention with that first one with just a Nightwing hand holding a bloody knife.
Yeah, but I think 119's better because you've got the two Nightwings, you know, one with the knife
yeah.
and then one with the Eskimo sticks. So that's cool.
All right, so Nightwing 119 from June 2006. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guessed my name. Woo, woo.
Oh yeah, I know what song that's from.
What? Yeah.
That's from a Rolling Stone song.
Yes, Sympathy for the Devil.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. See no show tunes. I think Bruce Jones is.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
In general. And you can who was it? Guns N' Roses redid it for Interview with the Vampire.
Did not know that.
Yes, at the end. All right, so Nightwing's first encounter with his doppelganger, none other than Jason Todd, ends with Jason escaping after slashing Nightwing's hand. Jason's increasingly violent tactics have turned public opinion against Nightwing. Meanwhile, Cheyenne Fremont has been seen getting close to Barry Pierce. Through a series of misunderstandings, Dick Grayson's attempts to investigate Cheyenne result in him being hired as a male model and a continuation of their affair. Later, while sparing on Barry and Buddy Pierce, Nightwing stops Jason from murdering a criminal. Jason flees, leaving Nightwing to be discovered and driven off by civilians as a criminal himself. Later, Cheyenne is quickly becoming annoyed at her date Barry Pierce's boorish behavior. She is saved from the situation by none other. Here's our cliffhanger for the week, kids. By none other than Jason Todd.
Righto.
Well, she has a type. Wait, you're dating my brother?
Well, she doesn't know that.
I know she doesn't. I know. All right. So what did you think of 119?
So I mean, so some of it was funny, like last one up buys beers. I mean, that was cute.
I mean, if they really wanted to redeem Jason, what they could have did is like, oh, they could say Jason was there to help him, but maybe Jason's methods were a little too violent for Dick, but meanwhile, he could have been like, I'm just here to help. But I guess they were still in the era. They wanted to make him like a antagonist, I guess.
Yeah, but again, him saying like, "Yeah, I don't loan lease, especially to murdering misfits." I don't know. That just strikes me as odd. Also, I mean, the loan lease program was like something in the World War II.
And then I mean, Dick was injured so long because he's like, "Oh, I'm out of shape and stuff," And again, I'm assuming they would have had, if Jason would have taken over, they would have had him go to New York for a fresh start, a fresh city. But it's like they really don't give you I don't think they really give us a reason why Dick went to New York, did they? I mean, he could have stayed in Gotham, but
yeah, I think, just.
I mean, just one line of, "Oh, hey, I wanted to get away from everybody or the memories," or.
I mean, I guess since we know Bloodhaven's gone, I guess they probably figured put him in New York since that's where the Titans were.
Maybe. Yeah, too bad they blew up Bloodhaven. We could have started back there.
Yeah, I guess that's it. So, I mean, Jason calling him Dickster, like, maybe I could see that with Jason. But now you're back? Like, I don't know. That just doesn't strike me as Jason. I don't feel like Jason would say you're back. Like, why you're.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if how familiar Bruce Jones was with these characters. Oh, but Jason actually wants to be like partners.
Yeah.
The Nightwingers. Okay, the name needs work.
Yeah, but then he's like, "What, you want to tie him to a lamppost and then get back to bidding on eBay?" I don't know. It just feels.
I know. It's like, where'd that come from?
It just feels weird. It just feels weird.
Was he just like, "Oh, you millennial"? But meanwhile, it's coming from Jason, who's younger. I'm like, okay. Oh, what did you think of the Pierce brothers?
I mean, but I think it's better when he calls him Dickie Bird as opposed to Dickster, but whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that was the other thing, is how Jason's like that cute little Fremont chick. They actually often other writers show Jason as being a bit more respectful of women than that, so that also kind of threw me off.
Yeah, especially once New 52 starts. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, what did you think of Dick Grayson, male model?
So ridiculous. I mean, also pretty hilarious. Okay, wait, hold on. Is he soaking his hand in like a pot?
Maybe. I mean, I'm assuming the red's from the blood, maybe, but that's
right. Yeah, but it's like, are you trying to make hand soup?
I just assumed it was like ice water or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it probably is, but that being a soup pot, I was like, Right, and then this way, and Jason, God, I wish he had died that night with Batman and Joker. What's that a reference to? Is that from something in Under the Red Hood?
Batman 650, like that's like in the movie Under the Red Hood when Jason captures the Joker, and that whole scene where it's like he wants to kill the Joker, and Batman's like, "Oh, I'm sorry I didn't save you," and that's where that originally comes from. Batman 650, where Jason's like, he's like, "I don't blame you for not saving me." He's like, "But why didn't you kill this SOB? Once he killed me."
Right. Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I forget. There's like I don't know if Jason had a bomb or something. There seemed like there was a big explosion, but then that's when the jumped 1 year later, so you never really got to see the end of that.
Yeah, and so I get that it's like, gee, I wish that Jason weren't murdering people, but I don't know. It like feels kind of harsh to be like, instead of him murdering people, I wish he were dead. I mean, like I kind of get it, but also,
yeah. I mean, in this era, I mean, since Jason's come back from the dead, he really hasn't done anything good. Like the first time he shows up, he like tries to take over some of the mobs in Gotham. Like he shows up to all the second in commands with a duffel bag full of their bosses' heads and be like, "Hey, this was one night. You want to see what this was in like a couple hours. You want to see what I can do in a whole night?"
Right. And I know that he like beat Tim up, right?
Oh yeah.
At some point, I'm not sure if that's happened already or not, but.
Oh yeah, he tried to beat all of them, I think. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that's what we said. That's what, like we were saying, they really don't do anything. You know, he really doesn't show anything good until like New 52.
Yeah. He was more villain and less anti-hero.
Oh yeah, remember Battle for the Cow when he was trying to take Batman's spot and he was just killing guys. Yeah. That whole thing where it's like Dick's like, I don't want to be Batman, but I don't want him to be Batman. So let's see. So Jason first shows up, takes Dick's Robin spot. Right here, he's trying to take Dick's Nightwing spot. Then Battle for the Cow, he tries to take Batman's spot. Yeah, they were trying to make him villainous here until New 52.
Yes, but yeah, so then it's hilarious / ridiculous when Dick ends up as a model. I mean, of course, it just gets more ridiculous because that was another thing I do remember what he ends up modeling at the end. But yeah, I mean, on the one hand, though, considering we're always talking about how hot Dick is, it is kind of like, why hasn't he been a model before this? On the other hand, you shouldn't go plastering your face around. Like, I do understand why you wouldn't do that because.
Oh yeah, especially when they make him wear neck.
Right.
Yeah. And then the whole Cheyenne. Oh, let's go downstairs and have sex again.
Yeah, I mean, I did like how he was saying, I don't want to be in this outfit because it's super racist. That was good because it was super racist. But yeah, then.
But then the weird thing too, it's like, again, this doesn't seem like Dick. Again, this seems like something they would have written for Jason had the whole thing going through. But like, he's like, oh, does Cheyenne suspect I'm getting close to her to, find out stuff on the Pierce brothers? It's like, gee, Dick's not going to sleep with someone to, just get close to some criminals.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think that was a Jason thing originally.
Right, because initially it seems pretty clear that he didn't know she had anything to do with the Pierce brothers. I guess that's one thing that always surprised me a little bit because when I first read all this stuff, I read a lot of comics in a very short amount of time. So I was reading like New Teen Titans and then boom, I went over to the Nightwing book, even though there were in the real world actually a lot of years in between there. And I think that's one thing that I guess maybe a little bit reflects changing. Well, it's reflecting how a couple things. DC's continually trying to like emphasize that Dick is older. They're also trying to, I think, continually, push back against, Batman and Robin are gay, seduction of the innocent. Kind of stuff. But ever since he got his own Nightwing series, he's really been sexed up way more than he was in. And maybe I shouldn't say. I mean, because they definitely were playing on the like he's sexy and stuff when he was in New Teen Titans. But he was pretty much only ever with Starfire. And a couple years ago we did that Action Comics Weekly where he's with Roy, and Roy's like basically saying, I love having sex with people, and Dick's like, I can only have sex with people I love. And Roy's like, well, that's great for you. You'll go to heaven, I'll go to hell, or whatever. But then by the time Dick gets his own thing, I don't know, it kind of depends on the writer, because some of the writers will do him as, he, has feelings for people, at least, even if it's not all the way love. But then, other writers are much more casual about him, showing him having.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's like a trope of comic books. It's like if it's a team book, usually two people on the team are going to be dating. But if it's a solo book, it's like, oh, we gotta create a new love interest, or we gotta bring back somebody, or we gotta create a love triangle, something.
I see. It's just interesting to me how they've kind of.
Yeah. I
mean, because he was with Corey for a long time in Real People years, and then now they keep. And I wonder if it's also. I think it's maybe also a little bit reflective of society becoming more accepting of seeing sex in
Yeah.
Comic books and movies and stuff, because I mean, it was a huge thing when they showed that panel that when Dick and Corey were waking up in bed together. I mean, they weren't even having sex. They were just in bed together.
Yeah.
So you had to be like, oh, kind of thing. But then, later in the 2000s, we have that one Outsiders page of, Dick and Corey naked on the bed with condom wrappers. So it's just interesting. You can see it. I mean, I'm sure Dick's not the only character you see it with, but it's the one that I read the most, so I see it with.
Yeah.
How as the restrictions loosen and eventually the comic code goes away, how that is also reflected in.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always been like a version of it. Oh no, hey, couples drama and stuff, but it's like, yeah, as we've gotten more to the modern age, more progressive, it's like it's like they get more risque with it, but I mean, it's always been there to a certain degree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, it's just interesting that once he gets his solo series, he goes through a lot more partners than he did before.
Yeah, I mean, that's a modern comics thing. It doesn't matter who you are, how you identify. They're always going to try to partner you up with somebody, because like I'm always shocked when they can go a few issues without like someone having a love interest. I'm like, well, wow, they were really showing restraint, because it always seems like they're always trying to partner somebody else.
Which is funny, because I feel like people don't really read comics for. That was one thing that I liked about the Batman with Robert Pattinson, was that they didn't try to shoehorn a love interest in. Not that I'm anti-love interest. I mean, a little bit I am, let's be real. But I also feel like most of the time they do it badly in Batman movies. I feel like in most of the Batman movies, the weakest link, or one of the, I mean, some of them are just bad, but one of the weaker things in some of the better movies has been the love interest, because it feels like they just don't do a good job with it. And so I thought that was smart that they didn't do that in the Robert Pattinson movie. It didn't need it, and it reduced their chances of messing something up.
Yeah, I know, but at least when they do Selena, it kind of makes sense, because I can never see Bruce with like a regular person, who doesn't have a costumed identity. It's like, it doesn't ring true to me.
Right, and like I said, I think it's good when they don't always do that, because the number one thing that I remember from Batman Begins was that even though she's from Toledo, I was like, Katie Holmes was bad in that movie. Like, that's the number one thing I remember about that movie. And so it's like, if you don't need a love interest, if it's not directly relevant to the plot, which generally speaking with Batman it is not, sometimes it's better if you don't do it, because that's one less thing that you can mess up.
So did you like Maggie Gyllenhaal better in the next one?
She was much better, yes.
Yeah.
She was much better, yes. And that kind of worked. I'm thinking a little bit of the ones beforehand where it was like Chase Meridian and stuff like that. I was like, these don't need to be there. They don't need to have these. They don't need to have these characters in there.
Well, I mean, look at the first Michael Keaton movie. I mean, I love that movie, but I mean, really, he's gonna sleep with Vicky Vale on the first date? I'm like, that's not Bruce.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand if they're trying to show the Playboy thing, but it doesn't have to be a serious sort of relationship, and it can just be like, oh, hey, I'm, going to a party with her, not trying to make it into a romance, not trying to make it like, oh, and then she gets captured and she's some damsel in distress.
So I mean, look what they did with Selena in the next movie. I mean, he didn't sleep with her.
Right.
They kind of flirted around, but they didn't sleep together.
So, and it's like, I guess I should say I'm not opposed to it. I just don't think that in any of the Batman movies it's been that well done.
Yeah.
So
again, I think they try to throw that stuff in, like they think they have to appeal to like a general, non-comic book reading audience too.
Right, but and it's like, yes, having these dates and stuff is part of Bruce, but you can't capture everything about Batman in one movie. I mean, you don't have, right. And yeah, like I said, it wouldn't bother me if they just did a better job with it, but most of the time they don't. So
Like I said, I think they always think they have to like do the action film formula where it's like, okay, they have to have a love interest. They have, they have to beat this guy. I'm glad that, some of these more modern superhero movies, they're not killing their enemies. Cause like back in the day, it seemed like, oh yeah, we got to drop the Joker off the building. We got to kill off.
yeah, they would almost lean a little bit too much into the action movie kind of thing. And it's like, wait, this is a comic book movie. You can't have the villain die. He needs to come back next week.
Exactly. Exactly.
But anyway,
It's like Batman.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess it's like if you already, I mean, I guess you already slept together and you were dating, but yeah, I don't know. It's a little
And
intense.
also, yeah, I mean, it was so evident that this was supposed to be Jason too, because around this time, the Outsiders book, they kind of go underground, and that's where you get that page where we see Nightwing getting up in Superman's face, and just the attitude he gives them of like, oh, I can tell this was supposed to be Jason.
Yeah.
Because basically it's in his face. It was like, you know what? Don't try to stop us. We got some kryptonite. I'm like, this is so Jason. How can you justify this being Dick?
Yes, that's when he was in his dark period.
I know, because is it one of these two? I read all these like pretty much together. So was it one of these two issues? I forget if it's one of the ones from next week where he's just like, oh, I have like a darker outlook after the last year. I'm like, really? They're just trying.
Yeah, you would think that after almost dying, you would be like, woohoo, like new lease on life.
And then he goes around the world for a while with Bruce and Tim on like a kind of mini vacation. But I believe that line is just them trying to justify, okay, this was supposed to be Jason. We have to shoehorn Dick into this again now. So that's why they threw that in there.
Yeah.
Had this near-death experience. It's like, really? All right. So anything else on these?
Jason looks weird at the end too.
Oh yeah. In his little suit.
He looks so boxy. Like his head looks so small for his body.
Yeah. This art wasn't like I said, this art wasn't my favorite.
Also, would Dick be like, think the old Todd Meister's in this for the long haul? I don't know. I guess everything just feels a little bit off in this.
Once again, I don't know if that's just like an older guy trying to like write like what he thinks hip younger people would talk like.
I mean, on the one hand, Dick saying something that is more like an old person thing fits more with, I feel like, than with Jason saying something that's, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. I just Jason's dialogue. I wonder if he's just. I'm trying to see if I can find more stuff from this artist Joe Dodd, because I'd never heard of this guy except for this story. I don't think. Yeah, not familiar. Okay. All right.
Oh, yes. I would be interested to see how people reacted when this came out in 2006. Were people like, what the?
I don't know. Maybe people were just grateful that Dick was still alive.
I mean, maybe.
Probably. If that died, it was probably like, hey, at least I didn't kill him.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the whole thing just feels a little bit off.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I think that's what I was thinking is, even if it had been which maybe it's because I'm just not as familiar with Jason before. I know some of the Jason as Robin, but I mean, Jason wasn't really in that many comics. He's like before the Red Hood, under the Red Hood, then he has like random things popping up. And he was messed up, but also he had, like some slight, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I didn't really like Jason either. Yeah, like I don't know. I thought Jason could have been better done too. So
yeah, they like I said, they wrote him as pretty much a straight up villain until New 52. So basically, the villain shows up. Haha, I know all your secrets. Haha. All right. Anything else?
I mean, I look forward to the tentacle monster because I feel like, honestly, that's about the only redeeming thing about this arc is that it goes so
Left field, yeah.
yes, then you're like, oh, tentacle monster. Okay. I was like, you're not really into it, and then it's like you dislike it so much that you like circle back around and start to kind of like it.
Have you read those yet? Have you reread those yet?
No, I haven't reread them yet. I'm trying to save up so that my reactions can be like more authentic.
All right, let me tease you, people. Not just a tentacle monster, a vomiting tentacle monster. So that's all I'll say.
Yeah, that's great.
So yes, like I was telling Kristen, I read ahead. So yes, last week I said next week would be issues 120 and 121. We're gonna do 120, 120, 121, and 122 because that wraps up this arc. And then in 2 weeks we'll do 123 and 124. Bruce Jones's last 2 issues, which were their own little arc. So.
Oh, okay. I guess I was thinking his whole arc was the tentacle monster thing, but
Yeah, no. Yeah, those last 2, 123, 124. I mean, again, it's all the same characters, like Cheyenne. I don't think Jason's there, but Cheyenne and the Pierce brothers and all that. But yeah, it's a story. Yeah, no tentacle monster.
Sad.
I know you're disappointed.
Like I said, I mean, the tentacle monster is the best thing about this arc because it's just so what?
Exactly. All right, kids. So yeah, send your thoughts.
But I guess I want to know who would the tentacle monster have been if it was just Jason? Like, would Cheyenne have turned into the tentacle monster?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. If it had just been Jason, maybe he would have been starting to try to redeem himself and become good again. And would we have had someone knifing people? Because. Or we just created like a new killer or something, or would we had a villain or something doing that part?
Because it seems since spoiler alert, in one of those, I do remember that somewhere in here, Cheyenne becomes for a hot minute like a female Nightwing. Well, and it's kind of like there are so many Nightwings. Like, what is going on here? And so it, was that kind of part of it before we had to bring the original Nightwing back into the mix?
Again, yeah, that's my biggest question. I'm like, had this been just Jason, would he have been trying to redeem himself, or would he still have been like knifing people and been like a ultra violent Nightwing?
Yeah, maybe it could have been that like Cheyenne was doing the Nightwing stuff that Jason was doing. Trying to like.
True.
Get her to be less violent, and that's how he was redeeming himself. I don't know.
I can see that. All right, so yes, send your thoughts next week. Nightwing 120 through 122, and then in 2 weeks 123 and 124 to wrap up Bruce Jones's run. So I would assume the response wasn't good because I mean he went from 118 to 124. So
yeah, I mean I feel like. After 1 year later, most of the responses until we got to the stuff that I really like at the end with Tomasi, I think most of the responses were not that good to the arcs because people basically just came and wrote one arc and left.
Yeah, because
so were they having a hard time getting people to be on the book?
Well, the Tomasi stuff, I mean, they had to shut that down because Dick was going to be Batman. I would assume Tomasi would have had a longer run if Dick wouldn't have had, they canceled the book so he could become Batman.
Right. I'm just saying, after, you had Chuck Dixon writing so many, and then you had Devin writing so many, and then it was like they were whipping through people. It was like, Bruce Jones wrote something, and Marv Wolfman came back for a hot minute, and then there was, that one issue that was written by Fabian Nicieza because he was writing like the crossover, and then I think there was somebody else, and then then Tomasi got it, and it kind of hit its groove once Tomasi had it, but I don't know if it was, maybe they thought the book was going to get canceled before then they were like, oh, maybe we'll throw Jason in. Oh, wait, now it's going to be both people. or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if they just hit like a creative hole or something between Devin Grayson and Tomasi. So yeah, it seemed like
They went
they
through
were
a
having
lot. I mean, they
trouble.
went through a lot of people in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And again, I wonder if the response to Bruce Jones was so bad that they were like, "Oh, we got to bring in Marv, the guy who made Dick Nightwing. We got to bring him in."
Right, but then Marv's issue, people were kind of like,
Well, again, I wonder too if like just it had been a few years and like he was used to writing Dick in a team setting.
Like I said, yeah, that's like, it's nice that it was great that Nightwing had his own book, but I do think since Rebirth, I mean, granted, it's like not that much of a challenge, honestly, but since Rebirth, like this is the best Nightwing book that Dick has had.
Yeah.
Because he's like getting more consistent writer. They're not switching the writer
Yeah.
up as much. And the things are not as, I think that's what kind of put me off on a lot of the stuff in between Devin and Tomasi is some of the stuff just is so ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
being the model, 3 Nightwings, tentacle monster, and then it's like we have to go back and like go from the well of Dick being sexually creeped on again.
Again, I think it's just after Devin, we got a bunch of writers who maybe didn't get Dick. I don't think Bruce Jones got these characters, especially. And again, I think he really had one hand tied behind his back because I'm sure they were probably like, okay, this is going to be Jason, this is going to be Jason, and I wonder how last minute that decision was, where they're like, oh yeah, change your story. That Dick Grayson's going to stay alive, and probably had to do a bunch of last minute rewrites and stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know if he left, but also I think it can be a problem if you just are giving someone a short-term contract. If you're just like, okay, you're going to come in and write 6 issues, because I mean, the way comics are written anymore, like, what are you going to do in 6 issues? I mean,
Yeah.
It's not like back in the 40s and 50s when 6 issues, you'd be like, okay, great, that's 6 different self-contained stories. I can do whatever I want.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, no, he got 7, but because he get 5. This arc is 5 issues, and then the last 2. So
yeah, and it could have been that DC wasn't giving people long. They were like, yeah, you're going to do this many issues, so that could have hampered them as well.
Maybe they were testing him too, because it was just like I don't think he had done anything at at least I don't know anything at DC. He had the only other thing I know of, I think he did a Hulk run, and it was a lot better than this. So that's what I'm saying. I wonder if they would have given him more lead time with exactly what everything was going to be, if it would have been better.
Probably. I mean, probably if it hadn't been one character's dying in. I mean, because it might have been okay as a Jason arc. I mean, it has potential if he was trying to redeem himself, but then it just gets like too ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
all these Nightwings and being a model and
it doesn't help. The art isn't my cup of tea. And once you get to those last 2 issues, 123 and 124, I think the art's not even as good as what we get here.
Yeah, the faces are off. I don't know. The faces look weird. Everybody looks old to me.
I don't know if it's just the art style. It's not my cup of tea, or if like, again, I wonder if they were editing faces too. Everywhere we see Dick that was supposed to be Jason, so they're changing faces.
Right, because of course, right now this isn't Jason with his little white patch, so it's very hard to tell them. I mean, obviously, it's like if they were real people, I presume they would have any number of things that you would easily distinguish them. But since they're comic book people, and it's like dudes with blue eyes and black hair,
not you say that. It's like, where's Jason's white patch? But again, maybe they're going back to the Silver Age. Maybe he dyed it.
Right? Yeah. I think doesn't somebody make a reference to that? So again, they were kind of inconsistent about that because I thought there's a Winnick or something where Jason makes a comment about like, "Oh, Bruce made me dye my hair" or something.
It might.
Maybe I'm imagining that. I can't remember.
I swear that was somewhere. It was either a Winnick or maybe it might have been in Batman and Robin. I can't remember because he did come up against Dick and Damian when Dick was Batman.
Yeah.
All right, we done?
Yes.
All right, so yes, kids, send your thoughts on the rest of the Bruce Jones run. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Nightwing News on Facebook, on Twitter. Go join the Nightwing Facebook fan group. Find a link to the YouTube channel. You can find this episode and every episode we do on our YouTube channel. You can also find a link to, most importantly, the Patreon. Once again, we're not rich. We're not billionaires. We're paying for this out of our own pocket. So any little bit helps. But yes, $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including Mr. DG Chichester talks to me and Lilith every month. We usually talk Marvel, but this last time we talked his story from Batman, the 80-page giant #2. It was a Huntress versus Riddler story.
I got the good mug out for you guys.
Yes, and superhero movie brackets. We will find the worst superhero movie of all time, even if it kills us. Yes, the March episode is up. All those other slackers couldn't make it, so Kristen and I crowned the winner between Blade Trinity and Elektra. So
That's right.
if you like this show, go check that episode out. We actually got Kristen to talk some Marvel. Woo! So, and most important, go pick up some Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find everything at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And I lied. Most importantly, yes, especially fans of this show, go pick up Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. It's out on Amazon. Once again, make Kristen happy. Oh, that's the other thing. When I was talking about not being rich, it's like, why did it seem like Dick doesn't have money here? I'm like,
he disowned himself.
or was like all his money tied up in like Bloodhaven real estate and it got blown sky high.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that because of modern banking, if your bank gets exploded, I don't think it means all your money's gone.
But I'm saying maybe he's not liquid. Maybe he had all his money tied up in because he bought an apartment building, and didn't he at least had that garage where he kept the car and stuff.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
It seems like every couple of years they're like, oh, hey, he falls back in the money.
I mean, yeah.
Like Tom Taylor had him do that with Alfred. Yeah.
Because this is America. This is America, and we don't want to read stories about poor people.
Well, every so often with some of these characters, I can't tell you how many times Tony Stark has lost his fortune and rebuilt it. You know, I guess it's just the writer. It's like, hey, I don't want to have to worry about writing about money trouble, so I'll just make him rich again.
Exactly.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that could have been an interesting thing with Jason because he has the whole legally dead issue.
Exactly.
Which,
that's
it much trickier to rent a place when you're dead.
That's why I wonder if that was another Jason plot point. It's like, oh, I don't have any money, you know. And again, too, I think the pit aged them up well, or the Superboy Prime Punch, but it's like aged them up because when he died, he was still only like, I don't think he was older than 16, was he? So it's like,
I mean,
he really.
I don't think so, but again, there's like,
even if he could prove he was still alive, yeah, the last anyone knew he was, you know,
like, shouldn't you be in school?
Or if he's like, oh,
it seems like with Jason, it was like he died, but somehow he kept aging as if he hadn't died.
Well, once they threw in the Lazarus pit, I think they just did the whole, oh, hey, the Lazarus pit aged him up or whatever.
Okay, so it's like if he hadn't died, the pit aged him up to how old he would have been.
And I forget how long he was in the grave, but when the Superboy Punch brought him back, like he dug himself out of his grave, and like I think they had him traveling the world for a while, so I don't know how long he was traveling the world.
Yeah, that was in Red Hood Lost Days or whatever, right? Or
that, and like originally they showed that in a Batman annual where it's like, yeah, Superboy Prime Punch the wall. He wakes up in his coffin like with all the like wounds he had from killing death in the family, so he's has to dig himself out of his grave all beaten up.
Messed up. I don't understand why, with Lazarus Pits already being part of the Batman mythos, they didn't immediately go to Lazarus.
I don't know, because I guess they thought it was too obvious because everyone was like, oh, it's a Lazarus Pit. And they're like, oh, don't be stupid. It's not that obvious. Then they did the stupid Superboy.
And then everyone's like, no, that's stupid.
Because it's like a universe. It's like a big cosmic thing. And it's like, that's not the Batman stuff, you know? I don't know.
Whatever. This is sometimes why retcons are good, because stuff happens and you're like,
Yeah.
well, that was not good.
Yeah, that's one of the only good things that came out of New 52. They're like, yeah, I was allowed to pay. All right.
Diggity dank.
That's right. It is diggity dank. All right, kids. Yes, come back next week. Nightwing 120, 121, and 122. We'll get Tentacle Monster.
That's what we came here for. It is, though.
What, for the tentacles?
Yeah.
I don't think those are tentacles.
I wasn't reading this for the, on point dialogue and great brotherly relationship. I came here for the monster.
Spot on characterization.
Exactly. No, I came here for the monster.
All right, kids. Yes. Join us next time for some tentacle fun. But until then, join us same wing time.
Same wing channel.
The Nightwing News. Be nice to your brother.